like an add-on subject that comes very helpful in IT and software. So yeah, I think that's a special skill set on why you should hire me.
इंटरव्यू कैसा गया बेटा?
नहीं हुआ माँ.
कोई बात नहीं, ट्राई अगेन.
If you felt this too, like you're trying everything and still falling behind, you're not alone. Because this just isn't a bad phase, it's a silent crisis. More than 70,000 tech workers were laid off in the first half of 2025. College placement rates have dropped by over 40% in Tier 2 and Tier 3 colleges. MBA graduates are now accepting roles that pay less than what undergrad interns made 5 years ago. Everyone is running, but no one knows where to go. And the most painful part, it's not even the rejection, it's the silence, the ghosting, the automated rejection emails that don't even use your name. You pour out your time into resumes, aptitude rounds, interviews, and still hear nothing. Over and over. It wasn't supposed to be like this. You were told the formula: study hard, crack the right exam, get a degree, build a resume, apply, get hired. But here you are, overqualified for internships and underqualified for jobs, stuck in the middle, scrolling job portals, watching motivational reels, hoping that something, anything, clicks. The truth is, it's not you. The world has changed, quietly, rapidly, and nobody warned you. Let's start with the biggest change and something you're tired of hearing: AI.
I think you'll start to see some meaningful progress against disease with AI-assisted tools.
This little computer, the big version of it was $250,000.
People talk about AI like it's the future event, some distant wave that affects job one day. The day has already happened. AI is not coming, it's here. Look at all this layoff news. It's working silently, relentlessly, behind the scenes of almost every company you're applying to. It's writing marketing copy, it's optimizing ad campaigns, it's reviewing code, it's helping HR teams filter candidates, it's generating documentation, cold emails, design prototypes, meeting summaries, all the work that you use to justify entry-level hiring. It's not that the companies don't need people anymore, it's that they need fewer of them. One solid employee with AI tools can now do the job of 3. So hiring patterns are shifting, slowly and quietly, but permanently. And the hardest hit? Freshers. Because AI doesn't just replace repetitive work, it replaces low trust and low leverage roles. The exact kind freshers used to fill. Earlier, companies would hire you just for your potential. They train you, mold you. That buffer now is gone. Now, if you already don't know the tools, if you don't contribute from day one, you're seen as a cost, not as an investment. This is the uncomfortable reality. In 2025, you don't get picked because you're promising. You get picked because you're already productive. And if that wasn't enough, the second system you relied on, the education system, is equally outdated. Let's be honest. College didn't prepare you for this. You spent 4 years attending lectures, submitting assignments, giving exams on subjects that haven't changed in 10 years. You were evaluated on memory, not problem solving. You were rewarded for compliance, not creativity. Your syllabus taught you recursion and bubble sort, but skipped over APIs, GitHub, and design thinking. It taught you Excel, PPT, but never how to use AI tools. Forget technical gaps. No one even trained you to think like an employee. And then you graduate, enter a job market asking, have you fine-tuned an LLM? Have you used LangChain? Can you build rapid prototypes with GPT APIs? Have you worked with no-code AI workflows like N8N? And all you have is a PDF of your final project built in C++ or Excel. This isn't your fault, but it is your reality. You were taught for a world that doesn't exist anymore. We built an entire education system around gatekeeping and not enabling, around filtering, not flourishing, around standardized exams, not real-world adaptation. And now, when the game has changed, you're expected to adapt overnight with no support. Even if you somehow teach yourself the right skills, you still face a new challenge: standing out. Now that brings us to LinkedIn. The platform that was supposed to be the solution is now part of the problem. Once upon a time, LinkedIn was a place where skill mattered, where you could quietly build a strong profile, apply to jobs, and expect meritocracy to work. But not anymore. LinkedIn has turned into a stage, a content platform masquerading as a hiring tool. It rewards performance, not potential, visibility, and not value. You post a simple open to work update, nobody sees it. But someone else posts a viral carousel about their 67 rejections, and suddenly recruiters are flooding into their DMs. Why? Because LinkedIn's algorithm isn't built to help you get a job. It's built to keep people scrolling. So you see founders giving advice threads with zero hiring intent. You see people turning their job hunt into content. And slowly, you feel like you're falling behind. Again, even the easy apply button, it's not easy. You and 3,000 other people applied. Your resume got passed by a bot, filtered out in milliseconds for not having the right keywords. No one saw your work. No one read your story. Just another digital rejection with no feedback, no reply, and no closure. If you're a fresher, it gets worse. This is the paradox. Every company wants experience, but no one wants to give you your first chance. Entry-level role, 2 years experience required. How does that even make sense? You stare at the job description knowing you could do the work, but your application doesn't even make it past the first round. Internships require prior internships. Referrals need networks you don't have. Jobs expect client experience you've never been allowed to gain. So what do? You polish your resume again and again, hoping this time it will make a difference. But here's another hard truth. Resumes don't get you jobs. They get you filtered. Your resume isn't read, it's scanned by humans and machines alike. If it doesn't scream value in the first few lines, it's discarded. Most freshers make the same mistakes, treating their resume like a biography instead of a pitch. You list your coursework, your CGPA, the languages you know, but nobody cares because every applicant did that, right? What they want to see is, have you solved a real problem? Have you shipped something? Can you own outcomes? It's not about listing what you've done. It's about signaling what you can do next. And even if you do get the interview, you realize you were never trained for it. Most people treat interviews like it's an exam. They memorize answers, script responses. But interviews aren't exams. They're conversations. You don't win by being technically perfect. You win by being memorable, by connecting, by showing the interviewer that you get it. But instead, you forget the basic truth. The interviewer wants to say yes. They're not looking for perfection. They're looking for confidence, clarity, and energy. A spark that says, I'll figure it out. And because no one teaches you this, not college, not seniors, and not placement cells, you keep losing. Not because you're not good, but because you don't know how to show it. Okay, enough of me talking about problems. What's the way out? And how do you win? How do you break out of this endless loop of rejections, ghosted resumes, and silent interviews? You start by choosing one thing that you have complete control over, the right skill. And if you've already chosen it, don't worry. I will talk about it too. But you don't pick 5 things. Not whatever trend the algorithm is pushing. Just one. The most dangerous mistakes most freshers make, spreading themselves too thin. One day they're doing a Java course, next day it's UI UX, then suddenly it's digital marketing. All surface, no depth. And when the interview comes, they crumble because they don't have proof, just certificates. And trust me, those don't mean anything anymore. So how do you pick the right skill? Forget what's hot. Ask instead, what are companies paying for? What problems are being solved by AI? What roles are still hard to replace even with automation? And where does your brain naturally fit? If you're analytical, explore no-code automation or workflow design. Tools like Zapier, N8N, and Make. These aren't gimmicks. They're the new plumbing of the modern enterprise. If you're visual, think motion design, learn After Effects, build explainer reels. Brands are paying thousands per video, especially those who can add storytelling, not just visuals. If you're into language, dive into content strategy. Become the person who doesn't just write blogs, but builds full-blown content systems across platforms. And here's the truth. Every single of these domains is being reinvented by AI. So you have two choices. Either you learn the skills and get outpaced in 6 months, or you learn the skill and learn how to leverage AI to become 10x faster. If you're already decent at writing, don't stop there. Study how top creators use ChatGPT not just for writing, but for ideation, formatting, and testing tone. Learn how to use tools like Claude for brand voice consistency. Don't just write. Run content A/B tests using unbounce or phrase and measure engagement. That's how copywriters earn retainers, not just freelance scraps. If you're into design, don't just stop at Figma. Learn how designers use Galileo to sketch AI-assisted UI mocks. Explore Viscom for real-time renders. Learn how to convert those into live, interactive framer pages. Most designers never learn how to present their work. If you can explain your decisions like a product manager and execute like a designer, you win deals, not just jobs. Now for code. This is the most brutal and the most rewarding. AI is already doing autocomplete better than most juniors. And what it can't do is solve ambiguous, real-world product problems. So focus on system thinking, understand APIs, build tight products, use Cursor to interact with large code bases, use OpenAI functions to make intelligent agents, build something, anything, a Chrome extension, a GPT plugin, a micro SaaS, then talk about it online. But skill alone is not enough because the market doesn't pay you for what you can do. It pays you for what it can see. This is where most freshers die. You have skill. Cool. Now where's your proof? I don't mean a certificate from Coursera. I don't mean a bootcamp badge. I mean actual proof of work. Visible, online, searchable, scannable, trust building. You're a coder? Where's your GitHub? Where's the product walkthrough video? The blog that explains why you chose that stack? You're a designer? Where's your Behance? Where's the case study? Where's your breakdown of a failed UI test and what you learned? You're a marketer? Where's your ad teardown? Where's the Notion doc of your campaign ideas? The Twitter thread that went viral? Because in 2025, resumes don't differentiate. Everyone has one, but only a few have evidence. And once you've got that, once your skill is out in the open, now you can amplify it. That's where content comes in. But not content like, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I mean educational, contextual, high signal content. People trust creators more than they do brands. They trust doers more than talkers. So start talking. Talk about what you're learning. Share your project mistakes. Break down somebody else's system. Explain your thought process. Post one insight a day. It could be a carousel, a tweet, a short YouTube video, a 2-minute Loom clip, whatever fits your medium. And here's the cheat code. You don't have to be original. You just have to be useful. The person who rewrites Andre Karpathy's AI talk into a 5-slide summary for students will gain more trust than someone uploading random AI news. People are not looking for experts. They're looking for explainers. And once you're known for one thing, just one, you'll start getting messages. Hey, saw your post. Wanna freelance? Hey, would you be open to a collab? Hey, we're hiring for a similar role. Can we talk? That's how distribution builds. This is how you move from fresher looking for an opportunity to creator people want to work with. But wait, how do you actually apply? Because now you have a skill, you have proof, and you have some content, but you're still getting ignored on LinkedIn. Here's the truth. LinkedIn is useful, but it's no longer enough. 95% of LinkedIn job applications are filtered out by ATS bots before they reach a human. Some job postings have over 5,000 applicants. The chance that you ever even get seen? Less than 1%. So how do smart people play it? They don't chase job posts. They chase companies. Make a dream list. 10 startups or creators or companies you want to work with. Find the decision maker. Use hunter.io, scrap.io or just Twitter DMs. Then create something for them. A teardown of their product. A 1-minute Loom video pitching an idea. Or a small Notion doc with a marketing campaign outline. Attach your proof of work. Send it. Follow up 3 times. Because while 5,000 people are pressing easy apply, you're building relationships. This is how top-tier freelancers, creators and operators get jobs without ever using a job board. And if you need scale, use lazy apply or pajama jobs to auto-apply to 100 roles a week. But don't rely on it. AI should assist your job search, not be your only strategy. Now the final boss, interviews. Most people treat interviews like exams. Memorize answers, script responses, hope the HR is nice. No. Interviews are mirrors. They reflect your depth, your confidence, and your communication style. The trick is not to impress, it's to build trust. And trust doesn't come from perfection. It comes from clarity, preparation, and vibe. Do your homework, study their product, understand their user, look at their Glassdoor reviews, their press releases, their funding announcements. Come to the table with context. If you're interviewing at a fintech startup, talk about a pain point you noticed in their onboarding. If it's an AI startup, suggest one way they could use GPT in their onboarding emails. It doesn't have to be genius. It just has to show thoughtfulness. Always remember, the interviewer wants to hire. They just don't want you to make a mistake. So your job is to de-risk yourself. Show that you can learn fast, communicate clearly, stay calm under questions, be honest if you don't know, and always turn the last question around. Can I ask what qualities you value most in someone you hire for this role? That one question, it flips the dynamic. You're no longer performing, you're partnering. And if you struggle with interviews, practice on Pramp. Record your answers. Watch for rambling, cut filler words, add pauses. Use mirroring techniques from Chris Voss. Make eye contact, even if it's virtual. Smile. Don't act. Connect. Because people hire who they like, who they trust, who make their life easier. That's the job. Finally, remember this. Your life will change not when you get hired, but when you build something that proves you don't need to wait for somebody to validate you. A side project, a micro business, a content channel, a productized service, a course, a toolkit, a newsletter. That's your long-term asset. And while everyone else is stuck in refreshing their inbox, you'll be building momentum. No one's coming to save you, but you can save yourself. Start now, because the future doesn't belong to the smartest or the most experienced. It belongs to the ones who ship. And if you do that consistently, loudly, publicly, no algorithm can ignore you ever again.